Robert, in your new book, Mastering Life Before It's Too Late, you talk about the as-if principle. What is that?
Well, this is a very important principle for us to learn. And to illustrate it, I want to tell the story of one of our American presidents, Teddy Roosevelt, who we think of as a very masculine president.
Yeah.
He was the one who led the Rough Riders up San Juan Hill and went all over the world shooting bears and lions and wildlife. And he was just known as he was a boxer. He was a very masculine and powerful figure. But he didn't start that way. As a child, he was very sickly. He suffered from asthma. He was introverted. He spent a lot of time in his room. He didn't have many friends. He lived in New York City with his parents and was sort of secluded and weak and sickly and easily frightened. But he was reading a novel. This was in childhood. But he read about a sailor who was going into battle with the British Navy and was frightened. And he told his commanding officer, "I'm frightened, what do I do?" And the commanding officer said, "It's all right to be frightened, just act as if you were not frightened." And so in this novel, then the sailor becomes, by the end, a very courageous man. And Roosevelt said to himself, he was just a child, but he said, "I'm going to act as if I were not shy and frightened and sick. I'm going to act as if I was someone who was strong." And he projected himself in that way and grew into what he had chosen to be. And you know, this is a biblical principle because this is the faith principle. Faith is acting as if God were real because He is. It is reality. It is living according to realities. It is living as though the promises of God were true because they are. It's living as though the Lord Jesus were really here with us because He is. And it says in the book of Colossians that we should devote ourselves to the Lord, working with all of our hearts as if we were working for the Lord and not for men. And so learning to live according to the as-if principle on a biblical basis, not just positive thinking mumbo-jumbo, but on a real biblical basis, is a real secret to the life of faith and to mastering life before it's too late.
Believing it and making it real.
Yes.
Thanks again, Robert.